Today, the moon continues in Gemini and then shifts gears into Cancer mid-afternoon Pacific time after forming a square to Saturn in Pisces, bringing a little bit of a bump in the road, and then in a square to nebulous Neptune as the moon enters Cancer, with Neptune as 0 degrees Aries and the moon entering 0 degrees Cancer, bringing that 0 degrees cardinal sign square to the forefront. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Thursday, January 29th. So Gemini moon going into Cancer just about 2:31 p.m. Pacific time, and as it does, forming a square with Neptune. But before that, the Gemini moon energy is that air sign energy, that energy of thinking, ideas, processing information, thinking out loud, going to learn new things, whether that means looking them up or reading or doing something to help you understand what is behind whatever is showing up. So we've got that air energy and so much Aquarius still still for another week or so much Aquarius, that energy of freedom, of breakthrough, of rebellion, of rebelling against what is not working. And so you see the themes of rebellion showing up around the country, and with people's thinking and ideology really aligning toward these themes of what does freedom look like? What does it mean to be free? What are the themes having to do with democracy and so much more? But that is partly going just together with this Aquarian energy. And the energy of Aquarius helps us to see what is possible, to break free of the constraints of the past. Like I was saying in a video recently, that when we have a plant dying back in the wintertime, you need to clear and clean the detritus, the old flowers, the old branches that aren't going to be part of the living plant going forward, right? So there's that feeling of rejecting what is old, what is no longer useful, what is no longer full of life, and thinking about the future in terms of what could life look like, what could it look like and feel like to thrive with that vision of what is possible heading into the future. So those themes are up wherever you fall on the, in your own personal beliefs. Those are the energies that we are working with. And so the Gemini energy really is reminding us to be curious, to inquire, to look deeper, and don't just accept what information you see on the surface, but to get curious and look a little bit deeper and ask those deeper questions and learn what you need to learn to be informed. And of course, processing the information you are getting and taking time to digest and figure out what it means, and especially what it means for how you see yourself, how you see your role in what is happening in the world around you, and what that will look like in terms of the future and what's important for you to invest in and think about and figure out for your daily life. So, two squares we have of the moon squaring outer planets, first Saturn and then Neptune. So that square to Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is the energy of boundaries and limits. So the moon in a square could be bringing a bump in the road, bringing something that says, how are you going to solve this problem or this challenge? Because that can help you gain in strength in doing whatever it is you're trying to do. So integrating the learning that is possible and being willing to step into new approaches or greater strength in what is going to serve you going forward. So it's that learning of how you're going to be the most effective. And sometimes we have to come up against those challenges. So we have the it's kind of like the satisfaction of having had a problem and then figured out a solution, or having had to deal with something that was hard and then figuring out the answer or what to do about it or how to solve the problem. So that we've got a little bit of that energy going on today as the moon squares Saturn, and then the moon going into Cancer squares Neptune. So taking us to that bigger spiritual picture with Neptune now in action oriented Aries. So there could be a glitch, a confusion, an uncertainty about what is the right way, what is the way that is in alignment with those highest principles, with what is important and meaningful. So you might know what's important and meaningful, but how you make that happen could be, a question. So as the moon goes into Cancer, where we shift gears into that watery energy that is more emotional and sensitive and feeling oriented, there's a need to not forget self-care for one, right? But caring for one another also, and caring in general. We cannot move forward without bringing our feelings with us. So that is the message here. Neptune in Aries is like ready to go. Let's take our principles and put them in action. But briefly, this moon squaring Neptune says, wait a minute, let's really remember that we have to attend to our emotional needs, our self-care, our feelings, and just check in with one another. Hey, how are you doing? What do you need? Do you need to take a break? And the more we do that, the better it is for the, not just for your own being and for your own wholeness and wellness and well-being, but also for being the most effective in whatever it is you are trying to accomplish. Because as you are trying to move something forward with that Aries energy, if we don't acknowledge our feelings, if we don't bring our ability to be sensitive and kind and caring and thinking about needs, if we don't bring that with us, we're not being as effective as we can be, because we want that wholeness. That the whole circle of the zodiac brings us all 12 zodiac signs, all 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And we need them all to be our best selves, but also to be our best together as we work to create things and possibilities and openings for the future together. Even if we are focused on a bigger picture of freedom, it's really helpful to remember that we also need to have our needs met in the process. So those are my thoughts for today. Once the moon goes into Cancer, we have that focus on caring. And so it's a great time to feel your feelings. I mean, there's been a lot going on, right? So there might be some emotions that need to be moving through you. So let that happen. It's really powerful to be sensitive, to be vulnerable. A lot of power in that. And we tend in this society to dismiss our needs, to dismiss our sensitive, vulnerable sides and say, oh, you're more strong if you're not, you're more strong if you're not vulnerable. But in reality, you are more strong if you are acknowledging your vulnerabilities, because that brings your whole self and allows you to step more fully into your power and your authenticity and what you're great at. And so we can make space for one another to be our true selves and to have those sensitive parts of ourselves, to bring our needs with us and to get our needs met and think about how we can best do that. So, Cancer moon, right? Nurturing and caring and thinking about our needs. I'm Marina Orms. Thanks for being here. And you can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. Learn about my upcoming guest speaker series called Emergence at transformationalastrology.com. Go ahead and sign up for a free account to be notified of all of the recordings that will be available. They're not actually live events that I'll be doing with the speakers, but each speaker will be pre-recorded and then posted as part of this series with some incredible conversations and wisdom and insights. And I am just so excited. So that's going to start next week. Go sign up at transformationalastrology.com and you'll be notified as soon as those become available. Thanks for being here and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.